What's going on, y'all? On a serious note, before we get everything going, I want to give a shout out and give honor where honor is due to Mrs. Stacey Jackson. She recently passed, and she meant a lot to us.
Yeah.
You know, I want to say just a little small spiel, a small story. Like she, Mr. Andrew used to teach piano lessons. Mm-hmm. You know, Zarani used to take piano lessons from her. And from him, from Mr. Andrew. So we used to go to their house when I was in South Memphis all the time. And so when we didn't go to South Memphis, they came to our house. You know what I'm saying? So Miss Stacey always was at our crib when Madison was younger and Jessica. And it's a running story kind of just between us, between Stacey and Miss Stacey and Jess and them. Like, I was holding Jessie on my bed, and she was probably like 6 or 7 months old, and I left her on the bed to go to my mama's room to check, talk to her for a minute, and she was about to fall off the bed. Me and Miss Stacey running to the room to, we caught her before she, kind of hit the floor. But, we chopped it up a lot. She used to come over our house a lot, eat dinner sometimes, while they are, doing the piano lessons in the back. And so she was just a godsend, man. I know I wasn't as close as some others, but she was just always around and stuff in the church, and always used to hug you, tell you that, I love you, like literally. And, the love that she showed to our family and my kids would definitely be missed. But, I know where she is.
Man, I just, and Miss Stacey had a lot of God kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she did.
One of our guys in here, the illustrious Crown Vic, was one of her God kids. As me and my brothers were. And when we first started going back to, Breath of Life, it was just like, why is my mom and dad so cool with, the guy that plays the piano and his wife? And I had no idea that they knew my mom and dad for years before we had moved to Alabama and then, Maryland and Virginia. And back here, so they go all the way back, not just with my mom and dad, but like with my uncle and aunt and, their family as well. And so she has just been a constant in my life and in the lives of my brothers and my parents. To your point, always somebody who was just a beautiful soul, who always had positive things to say, who always was encouraging. And Vic can attest to this, like when we was rapping back in the day at church, like they pushed a lot of times. They helped us be able to get that platform to where we were able to be up on stage and do some of the things that we were doing. And they were in very much support of that. So like now it's common to see people do that, and it wasn't like Vic knows, it wasn't common when we was coming up, but now it's a commonality, but it was because they pushed for that. And so she was very much way ahead of her time. She was very much an architect of change. And just to everybody who knew her and loved her, she will certainly be missed. And just to Andrew and Matt, Jesse, Mariah, Christian, Hannah, we love y'all. We're grieving with y'all. We certainly are not grieving as you all are grieving, because what you all are feeling, it pales in comparison to how we feel. But just know that we miss her as much as you guys do, and we love you, and we'll be, constantly checking on you, praying for you, praying with you. And, like when I've been texting, Matt, like whatever y'all need, we got you. Let us know. We're here. We love you. And as JB would say, salute to the great Mrs. Stacey Jackson.
Welcome to another episode of the Presidential Executive, y'all. This your boy JB. It's my homie and brother over here, Rag. What it do, my guy?
What it do? I like at the beginning how, like, you do your point and I do my point.
I do the point,
like
man.
I
So,
think, it's
so
kind of like
just,
our thing. Yeah, it's
you
like
know
it kind of like bow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so they'll kind of just see kind of
like
what's
that.
going on.
If we, you know what, at some point I know we're gonna have our own studio. And we do.
For true.
Like
yeah.
in the clip, like,
Speaking.
you know, I will have a cigar in the studio, just so you
Cigar?
know. You gotta have a cigar in the studio, man.
Just don't blow it in my face.
You're right. I won't. No, but we'll be, you know, in the studio, we'll have some distance. And
who
then,
knows? I may even blow one with you.
Man,
you know.
Shout out to our guy Crown Vic. So we'll be in the studio and he's in there, you know, we can get him on camera too. He don't like to be seen.
Yeah, we know we got to get Crown paid.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because we pay, Crown got to get paid. You know what I mean? So that's how we got to do it. So y'all continue, to like this video. Actually, like this video right now. You know, we're on all podcast platforms. If you look behind us, you see we're at The Prez X. So if you're wondering, oh my gosh, where can we find these guys at? Just look up, go behind. If you're looking at this video, just look up behind. You'll see at The Prez X. You know, so do that.
And that's on what? IG at The Prez X?
That is on IG.
That is it on Twitter.
On Twitter.
At The Prez X.
Facebook. Actually, if you put it in on YouTube, it'll come up on that too.
For sure.
So, and you also know you can catch us on all podcast platforms.
Go through the list.
Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and Stitcher. And of course, if you would like to financially support us, you can go to at The Prez X on Venmo. You can look us up there and help us out. You know what I'm saying? Whatever amount that you would like to give, we would definitely appreciate that.
We take it out. It all worked the same way.
So, Rag, what it do, man?
Man,
everything good?
Yeah. Man, at the beginning, you know, y'all know. We'll just reiterate again, salute to the legend that was the late, great Mrs. Stacey Jackson. One of our peeps, you know, and I know very close to both of us, that family, just in different areas. So just Jackson family, Mr. Andrew, Matt, Jesse, Mariah, Hannah, Christian, we love y'all. You know, we here with y'all. The beautiful service yesterday.
Yeah. The service was crazy. We talked about this kind of behind the camera, and it was a packed house, and you know our church is fairly big. You know what I'm saying? So you had people all the way kind of up in the back in the we'd say the nosebleeds, you know, and that's just a testament to her and what she meant to people and the impact and the influence and stuff that she had, and you know that was dope, man. So like I said, salute to them. Again, we got our boy Crown Vic here with us again today, helping producing the content in the project out here today. So,
and I know, hey, so and you know what? Let me give the flowers again. We give the flowers to Crown Vic because our beautiful videos, intro videos, you know, Crown at Crown 901 has shot them. But like, man, all our editing and stuff. If y'all don't know, you know, this guy over here, he does all of the editing. So
I try.
So it's said, not that I say it to him behind camera, so y'all hear me say it in public. This guy here does the thing. Crown 901 at Crown 901. He takes care of the business, and that's why it looks as good as it looks. And keep in mind, we're not on the level of some of these multi-million-dollar produced shows, but I still feel like we got phenomenal quality.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
We do what we do. We do what we do. And y'all be on the lookout for my guy coming soon, The Presidential Perspective. You know, if y'all see us on the YouTube channel, I have the executive mindset. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
so,
5?
Yeah, 5? Okay.
Hey,
appreciate
and you know what? I don't always agree, but I love it, though.
I know you don't.
I love it, though.
Yeah,
because it's real.
Yeah. It's me.
And you're unapologetic about it. And that's what I love. You know me. I love authenticity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not pandering, and I love it. Like, like sometimes I'd be like shaking my head, but but it's like, you know, it's like one of them. You hate to love it, but you love to hate it. It's like, but
I try to keep it a thou wow. And so y'all be lookout for. We're gonna have the other side. We're gonna have presidential perspective. You know, like I said, we said this season. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna try to push out more content. Yeah. And so this is one of those. And so
definitely,
let's go ahead and get on this some of this rundown here, man. Briefly, you know. This is kind of, well, I want to say the elephant in the room. You know, we did the beginning for, you know, Mama Stacey and, you know, we did all the pod where you can find us, share, like. Actually, if you haven't liked already, go ahead and like now. You know, but the elephant in the room, if you see his hat, what he have on, you know, what they say, Niner gang, you know, bang, bang. you know, kind of whatever with that. You know, he got the socks on and stuff.
Play with it.
Y'all know last week they beat my Cowboys. You know, I actually don't want to talk about that, but they beat my boys. I leave it at that. We had played a horrible game. Dak was whack, you know, but in San Francisco won yesterday on a last second kick. So they go into the AFC Championship game. So salute to my guy over here, Rag, you know, for actually being a Niner fan and saluting to his team.
And if y'all know, like my guy ain't fair weather, as you clearly know, if you have watched any of our episodes, y'all know who my guy rock with. He actually moved. You know what I'm saying? He had Zeke on the wall over. He moved what's it called? A fat head.
Yeah, the fat
he
head,
moved the fat head. He had Zeke on the wall. But he has been a Cowboy fan as long as I've known him. He's not fair weather. He's not delusional. He's not every year we gonna win the chip. You know what I'm saying? But he ride or dies with his folks. Sure. You know, and you're in that list that our boy E, who's not a delusional Cowboy fan.
Yeah, my guy E,
you know, my homeboy, you hear me talk about him all the time. You haven't officially met him yet, but my homeboy Stefan.
Yeah, I remember you talking about him.
Right. He's not a delusional Cowboy. As a matter of fact, he was like, man, what you want to bet on the game? I was like, man, I don't know what we're going to do, man. And true to form.
Right.
And if you've seen this pod, you know I always either have on as you see, I got my good Rated R on.
Yeah.
Shout out to my guy, Skip Moore, Rated R.
Skip.
But if I don't have that on, you know, I rock my Rated R gear. I either have on a Bulls hat or a 49ers hat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really rock a lot of baseball gear, but you know, it's Atlanta Braves with me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I've been on the same 3 teams since I was 4 years old.
Right.
It ain't going nowhere. It ain't changing. I ain't fair weather like Memphis weather. You know. But you know, I don't have anything bad to say because y'all did what I thought y'all was gonna do. Not the losing part, but I mean, like y'all made a good comeback. Yeah. And I was like slick thinking, like I was sweating. You know what I'm saying? I was on the edge, literally on the edge of my seat. Yeah. And if a couple of plays go the other way, like when the one hit the guy's helmet, when Jimmy almost threw the interception, I was like, we tried to give it to you.
You did.
We tried to give it to you, and y'all just didn't want it.
And I was gonna be thankful for that.
Right.
So
it was Thanksgiving in January.
we didn't deserve it. So
did the thing, man.
We didn't deserve it. So shout out to my guy because honestly, if the shoe was on the other foot, I would be going ham right now.
Right, he would, and I would be eating my crow, eating humble pie, and I wouldn't be making excuses.
Right. So
it is what it is.
Salute to the Niners, even though I still don't rock with y'all. I respect, you know, give honor where honor is due.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, salute to that. So, let's get into this, man. This briefly is Mike Todd's situation, man.
Yeah.
Mike Todd, if you haven't already, go check out
the Spitbowl.
The Spitbowl on the Executive Mindset on our YouTube page at The Prez X TV. You know, go check that out. Personally, like I put my spill on it, but what you think about that briefly though, right?
I didn't like the apology.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
And Charlamagne said something interesting on the Breakfast Club, but like as a believer, as a person of faith, like the whole Bible is controversial. So if you have an issue with that, then you need to start questioning everything in it. And like we were talking about this off camera, but like they brought a naked woman to Jesus. Jesus like legit fell down in front of the woman in the ground and dared anybody like, who checking me?
Yeah.
Which one of y'all niggas ain't did nothing wrong? You throw the first rock, but throw it at me though. Cause he fell in front of the woman.
Mm-hmm.
Say he laid in the ground, you know what I'm saying? Fell in front of the woman.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody threw, they let the rocks down.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You go through the Old Testament, New Testament, the way God got people's attention was very controversial. Jesus would have been canceled today. He legit called a woman a dog.
He did.
You know what I'm saying? Or in 2022 terms, I'm not finna give my stuff to a bitch. Like that's essentially what he said.
In today's, yep.
He would have been canceled when he told Zacchaeus, man, I'm coming to eat with you. That's like the nigga on the street that's like poisoning the community. Like, hey, I'm coming over to your house to kick it. Jesus would have been canceled.
Yeah.
Like the dudes he kicked it with, Peter cut niggas' ears off, James and John, like what Kevin Hart said, they said, rain fire on these. Like, that's the way James and John was. Jesus would have been canceled.
Yeah.
So let's go over the facts. And you said this in the Executive Mindset, by the way, if you haven't checked that out. That was Mike Todd's brother. So I'm pretty sure they had a conversation about that. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like a random dude like, here, let me hit you in the face.
Younger brother at that, I believe.
Right.
I think his younger brother.
So I'm pretty sure they had a conversation prior to that.
For sure.
So yes, was it extreme? Yes, it was. But scripture says he who wins souls is wise. So and what are we doing right now? We're talking about it.
Yeah.
It's been talked about on the Breakfast Club.
Right, everywhere.
So now, and I guarantee you that the people who needed to receive from that. And you said something very key. If you don't vibe with that, maybe he's not your pastor.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And Paul eloquently said it best. People say, I'm of Paul, I'm of Peter, I'm of Apollos, I'm of Christ. Doesn't matter as long as the gospel is being preached.
Mm-hmm.
So it don't matter, like, if you can't vibe with the sermon, was the message conveyed?
Mm-hmm.
And I got a revelation from that, and I shared it with you off camera.
Yeah.
And I was like, dang, it made me think about something. It's not about you liking it or being comfortable with it. I got a whole revelation about what he was saying. And he didn't even say that, but that's when you have somebody who's effective.
The illustration.
You will get, if you got Holy Spirit in you, you will get a revelation of something, even though I might be saying A, but it's like, dang, Holy Spirit revealed to me B because you presented me A.
Yep.
And so my problem was with the apology, because I'm pretty sure he thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
He prayed about it. The apology came from this culture that we exist in now, this pandering culture of, oh, I didn't want to offend nobody. You knew what was going to happen before you did it.
Yeah.
And I think we talked about this in season 1, but we talked about Pastor Orr in Memphis. Shout out to, was it Brownsville Baptist Church?
Yeah. I think it was Brown something. Maybe
Yeah,
Brown
yeah,
Baptist.
but it's in was it South Haven? Somewhere there, but Pastor Bartholomew Orr. He did something, everybody was up in arms about it. Mm-hmm. But he was painting a picture. Right. Think about what the parables were. Jesus was painting pictures for these folks. Mm-hmm. And he said, y'all gonna get it over here. These people not gonna get it, but it's for these people over here. Mm-hmm. And you know exactly what I'm saying, but you gotta give it this way, because if you try to give it that way, they're not gonna receive it. And so he could have talked about it, but that would have went right over you. Okay, I hear you, Pastor. It gets graphic.
He does it the right way, man. Like, people, you can not like his illustrations, but you know, his illustrations actually bring home the gospel in my hand. So, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, like you say sometimes, argue with your mammy. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, speaking of that, let's go arguing with your mammy. Let's go to Penny for a quick second. Because he got into some arguments with the media on this last game. Actually, while we're actually filming and recording this, Memphis is actually playing now. And I will just say, I just peeked at the score. We're playing Tulsa. Tulsa is, I think, the worst team in the league. I don't think they have won.
Which is also where Pastor Mike Todd is from. Tulsa.
Tulsa, yep. Tulsa. And so
What's the score?
We were down 13 at half, 46-33 at halftime.
Okay.
So, given saying that, also an executive mindset with this Penny thing, as far as being a legend player.
Now the score is 59-61.
Okay, we've come back.
Down 2.
We've come back. Okay,
back.
Like
I said,
against a trash team. So,
don't matter.
But Penny, like I said, I'm with my guy Penny. I'm with my guy Penny. But I just do not. I don't like people not to be held accountable. So. To that, I say, go Tigers, go. But Penny, we got to do better, my guy.
Let me say, so Jalen Duren, DeAndre Williams, and Landers Nolley are all not playing today.
Jalen Duren not playing today?
He's not.
Okay.
He's out. Okay. Jalen Duren, DeAndre Williams, and Landers Nolley are all not playing today.
Okay.
So I don't believe in making excuses. I believe it's accountability. And I will say this. Before the other day, I have not heard him talk about how many players was out or missing prior to the other day. I think that the frustration mounted because he's constantly hearing the same chatter.
Yeah.
And I don't think he reacted the right way. Now, don't get me wrong, I wasn't mad about it, but from a presidential perspective, you always remain cool and calm and collected, even in adversity. And I think that he allowed what he was going through to get to him, and he's human.
He is.
But I will say this, and we talked about this off camera. Go back, for those of you all who watch, you've heard me talk about this. My whole thing with Penny becoming the head coach, I did not want what he's going through to come through now. And in hindsight, I'm young enough to remember, or rather old enough to remember, I guess, that, and I was a little kid, but I was a big Tigers fan. You know what I'm saying? Like from Coach Finch, like I said, knew my dad, so my relationship with the great Keith Lee.
Yep.
And just other players that I know either indirectly, my guy Rodney Newsom indirectly through my late cousin Joy, and other people like that, Chris Garner, like I know these guys, like we see each other and you're like, oh, what's up, bro? Like, so I've always had a relationship with the Tigers, but I saw what Coach Finch went through when the expectation was you're supposed to be at a certain level, and it wasn't that. And this is the only person who took us prior to the Calipari team, played in the national championship versus UCLA. And the only, if those of you all who watch basketball know Bill Walton, the only person he talks about is Larry Finch. Bill Walton won 3 NCAA championships when he was at UCLA. He was a part of their 8 straight. The only person he remembers playing is Larry Finch, and he talks about how awesome Larry Finch was and how awesome that Memphis game was. And like that was the game when Bill Walton went, his field goal percentage was like 22 or 23 from the field. 22 or 23 from the field, like he missed one. And on the one he missed, like he got fouled and they didn't call it. Like, but the one team we got in prior to the Calipari year, so. They and Finch was a legend. He got drafted by the Lakers, but he rejected that to play for the Memphis Showboats so he could be home because he wanted to be home. That's how much love he had for his city. He's from the Orange Mound community. He coached at Melrose and well, not Melrose, Messick when that was a still now it's adult vocational center, but it was a high school, and it's still in that Orange Mound community. It's as close as Craigmont and Raleigh Egypt is. Right. Ride or die Memphis, and they turned on him, and that was my fear for Penny because you know what he's meant to this city. For sure. And we can go 0-27, 28, 29. I'm still rocking with Penny. Yeah. But I knew the way we are, the way a lot of us are in relationships when it comes to Penny. I'm not saying you, but it's like as long as everything is good, we're rocking with him. But soon as he late to pick us up for a date, as soon as he burn the grits, as soon as we see another chick looking at him, then we turn on him. And granted, to your point, it should be more accountability. But I knew this was going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Now watch if it be next year, the year after that, because you said he's for sure next year under contract. Yeah. So like let us go to the Sweet 16s and everybody, oh, Penny. Yeah. I just hate that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm like I said, I'm with Penny. I just want us to actually look like a good, consistent, disciplined basketball team, and you don't have to win a national championship. No, I mean, but they a lot of people they don't say it. Yeah. And so man, salute to Penny, man. That's all I can say about that, man. I wish him well, but we need to take care of business today against Tulsa. We'll see how that turns out. Bill Cosby coming out with a documentary, Rag, man. What's going on with that, bro? So, like, I mean, we're all familiar with the case, but it's a documentary. I believe it's on Showtime, coming out on the 30th, which is next Sunday. It has his consent, though? I mean, it's his? I don't know that it's his documentary. Okay. I believe it's just people talking about kind of like how, almost like the way the Neverland one was, maybe. Dang. And you all have heard how we feel about that whole situation. Again, if somebody is guilty, they deserve to be penalized or punished for the things that they do. They need to be held accountable for the things that they do. But I will say, and we've talked about this before, like I remember when I was teaching, and it happened twice, but I remember I had one year, 40-something kids telling me that one kid did something. Because they didn't like that kid. Yeah. And so common sense would say 40-something kids are not going to lie on this one kid, and that kid is crying, Mr. Ragland, I didn't do it, it's not me. And so And some of the other teachers was like, well, you know, they wouldn't lie. This person wouldn't lie. That person wouldn't lie. But when we got to digging and investigating, we find out that kid's 100% innocent. They just didn't like that kid.
Right.
And so because you're my homeboy, you're going to lie for me because you my guy. And Vic going to lie for you because he's your guy. Mm-hmm. And this other two people going to lie for Vic because that's their guy. And before you know it, you got enough people. And so is this person over here a butthole? Maybe. But they didn't do that, though.
Yeah.
But, and this goes into another topic. Did you watch the last episode of Power?
I did.
Okay, so it goes into, if you remember, when he asked old girl on the stand about her credibility, and she was like, but I'm not lying about that, though. Right. But it's like, well, because you was wrong over here, and wrong over here, and wrong over here, what you did over here don't matter. Even though she was telling the truth about that.
That don't matter.
But they're looking at the fact that you were wrong over here, wrong over here, wrong over there. And that's kind of the way the situation went with that student. He had so many issues over here.
Yeah.
People thought he was guilty. So with that being said, because I've listened to everybody. Mm-hmm. I've listened to the people for the most part, I've never heard anyone in Hollywood. They say I heard rumors, but I've never heard a prominent voice, the Phylicia Rashads. Right. Even Lisa Bonet, who he had a beef with, said he never approached her or did anything like that. She never saw it. I just got a vibe. Okay, what does that mean? Y'all was already beefing. Mm-hmm. You know, we thought you and Jason Momoa was good, but that's a whole nother story for another day. Right. But apparently y'all are not. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So like, what vibe? What does that mean?
So you think this documentary may be like more like a negative tone?
I believe so. But again, I'm not saying he's innocent.
Right.
But when Phylicia Rashad, everybody mama, that's Michael B. Jordan mama from Creed. Yeah. That's Claire Huxtable. Yeah. That's Common's mama in Just Right.
Right.
That's everybody's mama when she says, I never saw it. This is what it is. This is what I believe it is. If she ain't credible, Erica Alexander, who played his cousin Pam, Maxine from Living Single, if she says I never saw it, Raven Simone, who was like, didn't defend him, but she never saw it. Tempest Bledsoe, who was Vanessa, Keisha Knight Pulliam, who was Rudy, they never saw it. Malcolm Jamal Warner never saw it. Even people who did not like him per se. Michael Jai White was on the episode of the Cosby Show. He didn't like Cosby, but when they said, well, did you see it? Well, no, I didn't see it, but this many people wouldn't be like, but you never saw it. So you got constantly people who are saying, okay, I didn't like him, I didn't vibe, I never saw it. Then you got the Sinbads who was like, look, this is what I saw him do. I never saw him do. You got the Eddie Griffins. He's like, man, he came and talked to me when we was doing Malcolm and Eddie with me and Malcolm Jamal Warner. He talked to me and he was like, man, this is what they were doing. This is what I saw. This is what I didn't see. So do I believe he had a relationship with these women? Definitely. But I do believe, honestly, it was more like at some point they had a relationship. The relationship stopped. The money stopped. Mm-hmm. And because he settled some years ago with somebody, just like with Michael Jackson, when people see you're willing to pay that money, and even though most people would tell you it's easier for you to sell out of court, a wise person will say, even though it's a hassle and it's more money, it's better for you to go to court. Because if people see you're willing to pay, everybody finna come out the woodworks who think they got a way to get some money from you.
Yeah, so whatever.
And I'm not saying he's innocent.
Right. I'm looking for.
But I've yet to see the person who come through and say, I don't want no money, I don't want nothing from him, but this nigga need to go to jail. Now, when them people come forward, then it's like, oh, you know what? Yeah, that nigga did that shit. But right now, everybody just, and check this out, everybody who coming forward trying to get money has already gotten money from him in the past. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? So that's what makes me question it.
We'll see. Either way it goes, if it comes on, I will look at the documentary just to see what type of vibe is going to be going in, whether it's positive, negative,
Did
neutral,
you ever watch the Rick James documentary?
No.
And that was the whole thing, because I thought it was some stuff about him, that came out. Mm-hmm. And his actual ex-wife was on there, and they both had went to trial for that. Yeah. And when she talked about it, she told what happened, and it was like, hold up, wait a second. This gives you a and they had gotten divorced before he died. But she said that the lady who tried to accuse them of doing this stuff to her had lied. And she was like, we was in there. She's like, we used to party. We turn up. And she was like, she was involved. She was getting high with us. She was turning up with us. But then when it was over with, now you're like, we held you hostage and did like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, and so you see, like, when you're in that position of fame and notoriety and you got money, the things people would do for their 15 minutes or even for the bag.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because we sit up here and say, yeah, nobody wants to be labeled as a victim or being scarred or whatever. But what will you do for 1.2 mil? Because we know people who do more stuff for less.
Yeah. Yep.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'll be interested to see what's going on with that. And so we kind of mentioned this in the maybe a segment or two back, but the Power Book 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did see the latest episode today.
Nigga.
It was fire. Like,
Vic, you been watching Power? No, Vic ain't gonna get on his mic.
Man.
Vic, he back there though, y'all. He's back there though.
That the Power that this I think it's the 9th episode.
It's 9 come on next week. This was the 8th episode.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
9 comes on the 29th.
Check you on that, but
you can fact check. I was looking.
I think this is 9th.
I was looking. No, that was the 8th episode.
But look, I can't even lie to you. Like, this is, what's the girl name? Monet's daughter. What's her name?
Diana.
Diana. I saw a meme, right? I saw a meme, and when she put the birth certificate on the thing, people like she put down the draw four, and everybody picked the
oh yeah, she did the draw 4.
She did the draw 4, and everybody picked the color.
She did the draw 4. Nigga, she threw out the big joker.
Bruh.
Like nigga, she threw out the full house in poker.
He did it. That's not your auntie. That's your
man.
brother.
Woo.
Like,
Wait. If you have not watched Power, this is your spoiler alert.
Hey, it's too late.
Like, don't skip. You kind of, so you know how some, how y'all attention span is.
For sure.
Yeah, so just go on fast forward about 10 minutes. But
man,
nigga,
that the whole episode
and the way Lorenzo was looking like,
right?
I think you need to leave.
And look, and peep this when Alvin Thibodeau, the ghost lawyer before he, I call him Alvin. I don't know his real name. Lawyer or somebody. I don't know. I don't even know his name. But,
it's
but ghost lawyer.
Memphis is in the lead, by the way. Now.
Okay.
But yeah, he played, but he's the guy from the Cosby Show that was the oldest daughter, Sandra's husband.
Alvin Thibodeau. So, and this brings up to me, this is what I thought about. I'm thinking, like I said, Ghost is still alive, dog. Like, because Tariq was questioning, like, he did all this before he died? Like, to be like, well, if he does go in jail, make sure, our little girl goes into, custody and you can't be able to find her. And like, I think Ghost still alive, y'all. This is just my opinion on it. I think Ghost is actually still alive. And I give credit, like Tariq, how he kind of flipped that.
He legit flipped, because at the end of Power, it was like you hated him.
Yeah, for sure.
You hated that guy.
He was definitely one of the hateds.
Oh no, you said Alvin Thibodeau. No, so you talking about Jeffrey Owens.
That's his real name?
You talking about his name in the show is Daniel Warren.
Oh, okay. I don't think anybody knew that.
Yeah, I don't know where you got Alvin Thibodeau from.
Well, that was his name on the Cosby Show.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah, that was his.
You said Alvin Thibodeau. I was like, no, that wasn't his name on Power. I don't think.
No.
I was trying to find out his real name, and I was no,
that was his name on the Cosby.
Right. Daniel Warren. Daniel Warren.
That's his real name.
Yeah, his real name is his real name is Jeffrey Owens.
Okay, but Daniel Warren,
attorney Daniel Warren on the
interesting.
On Power Book 2, his name is Daniel Warren.
I never paid attention to his name.
I didn't need. I've never heard his name on there.
Yeah, me either. So
when you said Alvin Thibodeau, I was like,
yeah, that's what I know him. It's like we say Theo.
Oh, okay, right.
You know what I'm saying? Or Rudy, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but Power Book 2, it's I like it. You know what I'm saying? I think Power Book 2 is right there. I think I like Raising Kanan. Then I put It's tough because I like BMF too. I think I might put BMF and then put Power Book 2 at the tail, or maybe put Power Book 2 after Raising Kanan. What you think? Like as far as my interest goes.
Oh, interest. Okay.
Not
okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because Raising Kanan to me, like, and I was surprised. A lot of people said. Well, I seen some comments, people saying they didn't like Raising Kanan.
You cannot be serious.
Raising Kanan is great.
Yeah, 'cause I was like, where'd that come from? But Raising Kanan to me, and I might have to put Book 2 last, but that's saying a lot because it's getting fight. BMF though was like, it got me straight off because it's a real story, right?
Yeah.
So
It's hard to compete versus a true story, and although they did fictionalize some of the stuff, and I want to say at BMF, if you ever watch BMF, it starts off by saying, even though it's fictionalized, most of this shit really happened, and it comes up at the beginning of the episode.
Every show,
but man, and shout out to Lil Meech. Demetrius Floneroy Jr. Man, he's doing a phenomenal job. Shout out to Da Vinci, who's playing Southwest T, who's doing a phenomenal job. And it's been so many memes of their dad.
I know, right?
I can't think of the guy's name, but he's been in a lot of movies and stuff.
He's been in a lot of stuff.
But man, they make so many memes of the dad, like talking to Meech. Good job. Yeah, that's gonna be it. But I mean, that's a phenomenal show. So
it is.
BMF is on a different level, especially the when Lamar starts singing You Can't Stop the Rain. Like, everybody was making memes of that.
Yeah.
But in terms of, like, Book 2 is pretty good.
It is. But
and Tariq got more women problems than Ghost do.
He's getting close. He's getting up there.
No, because like, so Ghost primarily was just Angie and Tasha until Ramona came later on, which I want to say was like the 5th and the 6th season, maybe.
Yeah.
But for the first 5 seasons, it was just Tasha and Angie.
Yeah.
Like, Tariq, even before
he got 3.
Power was over, you had Effie in the original Power.
Yeah.
And then in Book 2, you got, and we didn't even know Effie was coming back.
Right.
It was Diana and Lauren, and then Effie came back.
Right.
And it's like, and I ain't gonna lie, if I had my pick, I would pick Effie.
Yeah, that's why I know you probably. But my thing, I don't even count Effie just for the simple fact of, because I think she know what it is.
No, but Effie is like that chick that, like, she sees the end game to want to get out.
Yeah.
She, like, to me, Lauren is kind of like Angie.
Yeah.
And you know what I feel like, though?
Yeah.
I feel like they're gonna flip flop it. I feel like Lauren is gonna end up being like Tasha. That's gonna want to stay in the game and do all this, that, or whatever, because she's the good girl that ends up going bad. And I feel like Diana's gonna be that chick that's like, I'm in the game, but I want to get out and do the whatever. But Effie said something to Tariq. She was like, when you're with her, you got to become a version of yourself that ain't really you. So she's the one who really gets him.
Right. Yeah.
Totally.
But she also gets the dynamic. She's like, I don't care if you with Lauren or, you know what I'm saying, the other girl. Like, I know whenever we get together, we're going to get together. And like, it seemed like she cool with that. But, and that kind of can help Tariq on the other dynamic. Like, I think the 2 women he got to worry about clashing is probably Lauren and, I keep on forgetting the girl's name.
Effie or Diana?
Diana.
I ain't gonna lie now, just from a what I like standpoint, like, I probably would holler at Diana first.
Right, yeah.
That's just me.
Yeah.
But in terms of the dynamic and the person that really gets Tariq and how he moves, I would pick Effie though. Because it's like she knows him.
I can see that.
So if y'all ain't been watching Power Book 2, y'all need to do that. And so check this out though. Have you seen the trailers for 4? The Tommy joint.
I have.
Coming out Sunday, February 6th.
I'm with that.
Power Book Force.
I'm with, Tommy.
I smoke with Tommy. I smoke with Joseph Sikora. That's his real name.
Yeah.
Joseph Sikora is that dude. I mess with him.
I'm looking forward to that, man. That's gonna be highly dope. Okay, let's go into this other one. Like, this is a unfortunate thing, but Phanatik. Phanatik, for people that don't know Phanatik, he's a Christian hip hop legend. I put a picture up there with him. Like, he has cross movement. He actually has some solo albums. And actually, I don't know if you saw the whole video that he actually was explaining.
Yeah.
He basically denounced his faith. He denounces Christianity, I guess, and how he was brought up looking at it. And this to me, like, it's no surprise because I think over the last 3 years, I know I've seen cats that were, that you would supposedly are heavy in the faith, denounce Christianity, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? And so with Phanatik, and I'm interested to see your take on this, Rad, because this is just a classic case to me of you overindulging your knowledge base, and now you're literally trying to find an answer for everything. You're trying to find an answer for, why X, Y, like, and I get that, like, even being a believer Christian, like you want to know, okay, why God or why, certain stuff happens, but certain stuff, you got to let your faith run its course. You know what I mean? You can question God, but he may not give you that answer, right then and there or whatever. And so you got to continue, to exhaust your faith, not allow, I think he just puts too much book knowledge and academic stuff into his faith. And so now he questions a lot of stuff. Well, why do I say this? Now I can poke a hole in Christianity. If I say this, I put this, you know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. Like, to me, when you get your head or be too intelligent with your faith and Christianity and stuff, that's when you're going to start losing it, because then you're going to start getting manipulated by the information that you're having. You know what I'm saying? So I think Phanatik, although it's heartbreaking, but if you see, and this is I guess you can say, I ain't going to say it's a knock, but maybe it's a knock. But to me, when you're in Reformed and when you're in that whole camp, the Reformed camp, like, just for me, I've witnessed, like, it's kind of tough, if you're starting with that Reform perspective, because it's a lot of moving pieces and a lot of stuff may not make sense in the first place. And so you kind of, in my opinion, you're kind of at a disadvantage, from the get-go. And so I think he was around that or in that, type of doctrine or whatever you want to call it. But, and really, I think he had like a 25-minute video. Yeah. And looking at it all, bro, like, he looked even hesitant to even say it. What he wants. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that even, tells me more. And he's struggling with what he's been told and what he's learning and the whole academic and knowledge of it, to where you can't put Christianity or Jesus in a box. Right. You know what I'm saying? In a box to where it's saying, okay, 1 + 1 = 2. Like, in certain things you can, but for the most part, you got to believe it. And whatever that you don't have or knowledge that you have right now, you got to believe it by faith. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So,
dude, I think, first of all, let me say for me, and Crown can attest to this, like, we got to open for them. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, like, so
out of town.
I got to when they came here at the Rose Theater on the University of Memphis campus. Okay. So, like,
the whole cross movement, I was just okay.
Yeah, that was before the Truth blew up, before Flame blew up. You know what I'm saying? And so this was around the time when what's the album they had? What you know about this? What, like, that song was real hot, but, like, I remember on the House of Representative album, like, he had the song Spare Rituals, and I believe it was Hold It Down. He had the C to the R song, Back Up off the Human Emergency album. Like, I've got both of his solo albums. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was a guy, and his style was so different because it was almost like he was doing spoken word as opposed to rapping. You know what I'm saying? Like, his style was very different. Yep. And so to your point, and our guy C Micah talked about this a lot. When you try to logic a lot of things, it doesn't make sense because your human rationale sometimes cannot comprehend it.
Not gonna take it.
I will say this though, if you are familiar with scripture, like, a lot of the things that are happening in the world and even within the faith are in scripture. And that's why I said we can argue it, but, like, everything that's going on right now, how did they know 1,000 years ago, almost to that, like, that this was going to be happening? So we can sit up here and argue that, but, like, So,
right.
Oh, well, I mean, it just people manipulate, but that's been in there at least since the 15, 1600s when they translated it to what we call English. So you're still 500 years ahead, 600 years ahead. How did you know that?
Yeah.
Like, what is the human rationale for that? Yeah. So you can't. Yeah. You're a fool, and I'm telling you. So don't do it. Say I can't explain it. Say it's the universe. Say whatever you want, but don't say some man made that up when 600 years ago, wars, rumors of wars, what they talking about now between Russia and wars and rumors of wars, chemical and biological warfare. That's what we're going through right now. Mm-hmm. But it also said that people are going to be leaving the faith.
Yep. Message.
And that's what we're going through. Mm-hmm. And so it's not just Brady Goodwin, aka the Phanatik. Yep. It's other people who are questioning because and one of the people that one of our homegirls that we know, like that would be an issue between me and her because it's like you deal with these white evangelicals and because you have not experienced it personally, you're denying 99 other people that have experienced it. Well, I didn't see it, right. But this happened.
Right.
It'd be just like, the George Floyd thing. If you didn't see the video, you could say, well, I mean, I ain't never seen it, but we got a video.
Right.
We got people that was outside. We got people that seen it. Well, I ain't see the video. So you're saying it didn't happen because you didn't see it. And like, that was my issue is like, so just because you didn't experience this, then you don't have an issue with that, but we're telling you This is real, this exists. And so now what we have talked about on our own personal time, a lot of times in terms of stuff that we experience, contradictions that we see in the way that people practice their faith. Mm-hmm. Now, what I've been taught as what you said versus what I'm actually seeing in the world. I'm seeing this injustice. I'm seeing the inconsistencies. I'm seeing these people who so-called are Christians, but they don't have no true love in their hearts. Yeah. They practice racism covertly, not overtly. It's just covert. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We move into your neighborhoods, y'all move out. Redlining. You don't let us move in. You see the disparity between the way we're incarcerated and the way people who look like y'all are incarcerated is completely different. Me or you commit a crime or something like that and we're thrown up under the bus and you got people like Jeffrey Epstein and others that do things like that. And, well, I mean, what they went through as a child and you make excuses for that. Right. And you start seeing it. So now when you're looking at scripture, now you're starting to question, you start to doubt.
See, this is the crazy part because this is the interesting part because I know we've, you've shared to me over the years your experiences, some things you've had at shows performing, and I'm thinking he's probably been overseas and stuff, and I know he has seen the power of God at work. Probably people speaking in tongues and doing all this stuff.
A lot of that they deny a lot of that though, and that was one of the things that Mike could talk about. Yeah, they deny a lot of that, right? And so and that's why I bring to my point the whole reform thing because. Right. That's kind of where it becomes tricky. And then that's how I say it's all about knowledge and academia, because I know he's probably seen the power of God, but now he can't, it's hard for him to decipher, okay, this is what I seen, but this is what I know, this knowledge. Mm-hmm. And so now this is not lining up. And so I got to believe what's in my head more because, you know what I mean? So it's just to me. To your point though, that thinking will have what's up here greater than what's here. Right. So like I can see, so it's like if somebody has brainwashed me into thinking that this is a Cowboys logo. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. So even though I'm looking and I see you got an SF San Francisco. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But somebody has told me up here that it's Dallas, 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 and it's blue, even though this ain't blue and gray and white. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, but so even though I see it's something different, what's up here is contradicting what's here. Mm-hmm. And that's where the clash is. You've been told and heard and listened, and that's all up here.
What they say?
Looking
as a man thinketh,
so is he.
So is he. So yeah, that's unfortunate with that. So let's get into these quickies right quick, dog.
Do we got talk about the lady in Virginia?
Virginia woman charged with threatening to bring guns to school if kids are forced to wear masks?
Yeah. So
Tell me about
what
that.
happened was
Okay.
they were trying to pass a bill in Virginia and they had to vote on it to where parents were either saying the kids had to wear masks when they come to school or not. And so they were voting. So one parent got up and she said if her kids were forced to wear a mask, she said she would get every loaded gun that she had in her house and they would be up at the school and she would see them on Monday. So she was charged with threatening. And y'all know how we feel about the jab. Yeah, but I will say this. That's not the way to do it. That is not presidential.
That's not.
If you don't want your kids to participate, I feel like, homeschool them.
Yeah.
It's other alternatives, it's other schools that they can go to or attend. Right. And that's draft, but she was dead serious. And they had, after it was over with, she ended up being charged with threatening because they were actually at a, I don't want to say a town hall meeting, but it was at a forum where people were talking about.
Yeah.
So it might have been something like a town hall type situation.
Right.
But she was charged with threatening, and that is how serious it has gotten with that.
Which I get her in a sense because, my kids go to elementary school, one in pre-K, one in first grade. And recently,
y'all pass by me sometimes when I be trying to go to work.
Yeah, which wifey said she done seen you a time or two.
Be driving
with your headphones in.
Her.
Yeah, and so the mask, I get it. I'd rather my kids not wear them, but just like for the sake, you may catch me out with a mask on sometimes. That's not because I think I need it. That's just because of
out of respect for everybody else.
For other people. And actually, the other day I was in the post office. This lady, I didn't have my mask on. I'm thinking this lady trying to let me skip her in line. She was just like this. She was like this. And I was like, oh, you're like, no, just stay away. So I'm like, oh, okay, my bad. Like, I didn't have.
And it was because you didn't have a mask
I didn't have a mask on. And so she was like, treating me like, I had a breakout or something like that. And, and I didn't get messed up about it. Now, if she would have kept egging it on and been like, asking me, oh, why ain't you got your mask on? And that, then I would have told her, but. Yeah. I get it, but I'd rather my kid not to wear a mask because I don't think, especially that young, you need to learn your facial expressions when you're that young. You know what I mean? Like your eyes, you get to kind of peep kind of game with that. Right. And so now with your mask on, you can't necessarily see when somebody's trying to smile, when somebody's trying to do certain other facial expressions to show them, to show you what they're kind of actually doing.
We were at your... And rest in love, rest in power to the legend, the late great Prentice Brown. We were at your dad's funeral. Yeah, I was sitting on the same row with my own dad at your pop's funeral, and I didn't know that I was sitting next to him because the way he had his, you know what I'm saying, was dressed, and he had a big old mask covering his face.
Right.
So like that's where we are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I had went to the mall and I saw a guy I went to high school with, and he was a year ahead of me, but 3 years of high school, like I had class with this guy. I've ran into this guy everywhere since we graduated, around the city and other places. He see me and, we rap and chop it up. And so I was in the mall and I walked past him and I said his name and he kind of stopped and looked and he was like, oh, and then when I put him, it was like, oh man, my bad. I ain't even recognize you had the mat. Like, that's, so like to your point about talking about facial expression, but think about how many times you can be in a situation where you can know somebody or you're in a situation that could be life or death and somebody reacts because they don't know that it's you.
On the other side, I've been surprised too because I've been in Kroger with my mask on and people do the eye recognition and they be like, JB, I'm like, I had a hat on, I got a mask on, and certain people, but most people don't, but some people be like, hey JB, I'm like, how you, I guess they look at your head, so maybe your height or whatever like that. But like you said, for the most part, you're not, recognizing people.
And I don't know if you know my homeboy Polo, but I know Vic might. Used to be with a War Click. But like I was walking in Kroger, me and Polo was walking side by side like me or you are.
Right.
And I kept looking and I recognized him and he didn't recognize me. And this is somebody I've known most of my life.
Right. Yeah.
Like, this is somebody I've known since I was like 16.
Yeah.
And we clicked because the whole, not only the rap thing, but the South Memphis connection. And we knew, have known it. And we're walking side by side. And he just, and so I pulled my mask down and I was like, and he looks like, Shay. And we walked from the freaking bread section all the way down to where the taco stuff was.
Right.
It's like 5 aisles.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he didn't recognize me.
Yep.
And so I understand the mother's sentiment. I'm not saying that she's right.
Right.
I'm not saying that she's right. And see, some of y'all, this is how idiotic some of y'all are.
Y'all
will only hear that we say we understand, and you totally miss the fact that we're saying that it's not necessarily the right way to do it.
Right. Basically,
She
when
should
keeping
not
it real
have
going
necessarily threaten people
Yeah.
to do that. That's not the right way to do things.
Doing too
But you
much.
got to respect where other people's perspective is.
Yeah.
That you can't understand if you don't respect where other people are.
Right.
And if you feel like that you're right and you're the only way and you're gonna die and I'm gonna kill you if you're not right.
Right.
We've seen what the world looked like when that happened.
Extreme.
You know what I'm saying?
Extreme.
So that's what it is on there.
We ready for them quickies?
Man, let's go on.
You doing a little Rick Rude?
Let's go on get our Rick Rude.
Get a Rick Rude.
Get our Rick Rude on.
So
I wish I could take my shirt off and show these ladies what a real man looks like the late great ravishing Rick Rude.
He said he ready to take his shirt off for y'all ladies here. Oh, yo, so Ja Morant MVP, what you think?
Well, you know what? I mess with Kendrick Perkins. A lot of people clown Kendrick Perkins.
Yeah.
And y'all know I'm a Bulls fan, but you know, I still, you know what I'm saying, pull for the home team. But Ja is doing this thing. You know what I'm saying? And like I told y'all, last time we recorded, if you got something negative and you're from Memphis to say about Ja, take a step back and literally shut the entire F up.
Yep.
Last week I think I said shut the fuck up, but today I'm just gonna say shut the F up.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm cleaned up. But Ja is a treasure, man. And like I said, man, I was tripping because I stay every Monday.
Right.
I see something, I be looking like, where is he at? I want to catch a glimpse. But yeah, man, he's a treasure. And I think certainly he should be in the conversation. I'm not right now, I don't think it's for sure.
Yeah.
But to say he's not in the top 3 to 5, I think is erroneous.
I definitely think he should be in the top 4. I think he is a definite all-star starter.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it really depends. If we win at least 55 games, I think he has a chance to actually win it. But I think Memphis has to win at least 55 games plus to do it.
Right.
Don't do it. I know what you're going to say.
No, I was going to say, speaking of Memphis, we throw this in, Tigers won. They beat Tulsa.
Tulsa.
I had to go back and check.
They beat
Shout out to my nigga Penny.
Okay.
I used to call myself a little Penny, by the way.
Since he
not the basketball, I was Chris Rock.
Since he actually wants to bring this up, they beat Tulsa by 2 points.
A win is a win.
Tulsa is 0-5.
A win is a win
in the conference. 6-10.
Win
6-10 overall. And we got look, bro. Like I'm cool with the win. Win is a win. But come on, it's just like, back in high school, you know what I'm saying? And you in high school, it's just like you bragging that you beat Southside High School. You know what I'm saying? Like
Southside used to have some. Hey, don't do that.
Not when I was I was in there,
don't
like
mess with
in football and basketball.
Scrappers.
That's just like that, bro. We beat Southside, bro. Like, dog, you supposed to.
Dude, okay, let me ask you something.
You supposed to.
You're the wrong person. Both of y'all the wrong person.
You supposed to.
But people out there, America, if I had a chance, and whoever y'all pick one, Kelly Rowland, Issa Rae, Megan Good. If I can say me, the king of the regular niggas, me, if I can say that I got with them, do it really matter if I was 5 minutes? Nigga, I got in there. I won.
So are you saying Tulsa is one of those?
It doesn't matter if you win the Super Bowl by a point.
Tulsa is
you got a Super Bowl championship.
Tulsa is like the girl you get on Chelsea with a Kroger bag on the face. That's Tulsa.
We beat Green Bay.
So you not gonna
beat Green Bay because of a block punt, and then we came back and got a field goal. You think I'm tripping? You see what I'm doing? I'm doing? It don't matter.
I ain't tripping.
A victory is a victory.
It is.
And he not only was he missing the other players he was talking about, he was also missing 3 other players on top of that.
So that should make it even, right?
I'm not saying it should not. I'm not saying, but if he would have lost, would it have been an excuse? No, but he won though. They won.
By 2 points.
Don't matter.
Salute to Penny.
Salute,
Salute
man.
to Penny for beating Tulsa, a 0-5.
A win is a win in the
0-5 team in the conference. 6-10 overall for beating them by 2 points on the road.
A win is a win.
Salute. A win is a win. But come on, dog.
In racist Oklahoma.
Come on.
And they still went out there and won.
We done stopped the flow of the quickie because
a win is a win.
It is.
Sometimes you be wanting to get a quickie and you end up being late for work. It happens.
This dude here.
Sometimes you woke up on one. You popped your vitamin E early. You on one.
So basically, you know what I'm saying? Getting a jump on Chelsea, that's something that you brag about.
No, but you got it.
You got
what
it.
you do? You was at the house.
You ain't gonna let me know that though.
No, but I got
you ain't gonna let. Hey JB, hey bro, I went on. I got the little job. That's what Tulsa is. That's what Tulsa is.
You was playing with yourself.
That's what Tulsa is. That's what Tulsa is.
You was playing with yourself, and I got something.
You gonna keep that to yourself.
Don't
like what Tulsa, we gonna keep that to ourselves. We ain't even gonna bring this up.
It don't matter if I paid for it. I got something. You was playing with yourself.
We gonna keep that up. All right.
You can't shake hands tomorrow.
Let's get with this quickie with the NFL player with something that I think that you are hyped about because your team is actually still in it.
We're going to the NFC Championship.
Okay. Question: are you going to the Super Bowl? That's the question.
Am I going?
No. Is San Francisco?
I was like, am I physically going?
Are the 49ers?
If give me a loan, I'm going. You give me a loan. If y'all pool y'all money together, I'm going.
49ers going to the Super Bowl?
Man.
Tell me,
I feel like if we play Tampa Bay, yes.
Well, you look like you're not going to play Tampa Bay.
The Rams winning?
The Rams are winning. The Rams
This is why I say that. It's hard to beat a team in history. I want to say it's rarely happened where
27-13.
Ooh. Yeah. How many minutes left?
In the third quarter.
Okay. It's Tom Brady.
It's possible.
It's Tom Brady.
It's possible.
And y'all know on this podcast, it's first season. I started off saying Tom Brady ain't shit.
You did.
And I had to come back and say he's the shit.
You had to bring it back.
But that's accountability.
It is.
I own my stuff.
Okay.
So I like our chances better versus the Bucks versus the Rams because it's hard to beat the teams 3 times in a row.
Okay. This is who I think the Super Bowl is going to be. I say the Super Bowl is going to be the Rams and it's going to be the Bengals.
What?
Yes.
That's the trip though, man. Yes. I'm checking on my Titans fans.
I'm laughing. I'm actually I was excited about that. I respect the Titans though.
I've had to talk a couple of them off. They ready to just niggas ready to divorce their wives. They ready to quit their jobs. I'm like, it's not that serious. Like y'all don't even play.
You know why I like it because now they can stop talking about my Cowboys.
Right.
Yeah. Talk about the meltdown that we had.
Talking about the Cowboys.
Now they talk about the meltdown Green Bay had.
Yeah, man.
The meltdown the Titans had. So
I tripped because one of my cousins through marriage. She said the only thing going through Tennessee is 40. 40. And he's a Steelers fan. Shout out to my kinfolk, Nick Robinson.
This next quickie here, man. Russell Westbrook, Brick, and the Lakers. For me, I'm just getting the vibe they're gonna get rid of him. And I heard it's a rumor out there. I'm not sure how true it is. They're gonna deal him and John Wall because their contracts are pretty kind of similar.
Yeah.
And Houston,
I think
would be
John Wall,
to take it.
And that sucks for Westbrook because he's a California boy. He played at UCLA.
It's not working out.
But it goes back to something we've talked about. He's LeBron, as with all his greatness, has never been willing to adjust himself for other people. You got to play the way LeBron plays.
Yep.
But that's the same thing with Westbrook. And so when you have two guys that neither one of them is willing to concede their way so that for the greater good, I'm gonna do what I do,
right?
And it's gonna be this way. Like, and I'll use us for an example. Like, we work, and now granted, it's not always seamless. We talk a lot behind the scenes, but we work because we both give in different areas.
Yeah.
And that's why it does. When people say, all right, shout out to our boy More Kicks and Bruce Lee. Shout out, by the way, Crown Vic 901 also. It said he stayed watching us.
He do.
But it works.
Right.
Because it's times where I say, okay, you know what? JB got a point. Let me ease back. And vice versa. Time you say, you know what? I'm going to let you handle that. And when you're willing to suppress your ego for the greater good, we both win.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Now we can both try to dominate and neither one of us win. And that's what the Lakers have been doing.
They been trash, bro. They've been trash.
But I would like that for John Wall. I want to see him get.
Yeah.
It sucks that Westbrook got to go back to Houston.
It does. But
nothing wrong with Houston though.
It will help out his ego though, because he'll get all the triple doubles and do all whatever he want to do. And let's do all these a lot of celeb deaths since the
last episode.
Yeah, and Bob Saget.
Man, Danny Tanner from Full House, America's Funniest Home Videos.
Yeah.
And if y'all never saw his comedy, like he was not Danny Tanner.
He wasn't.
If you saw Half Baked, you never. Yeah. Hey, Bob Saget was like, and black comedians loved him so much because he was so off the chain.
Right.
You know, like I subscribed to the Expeditiously. Shout out to T.I. and the Expeditiously podcast, but he was on there last year, and he had T.I. rolling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? T.I. was asking like,
was
how was you able? Yeah.
Okay.
And he was like, how was you able to convince people that you're Danny Tanner and you're really this other dude?
Right.
And he talked about, and he gave shouts out to Richard Pryor. He was like, he got noticed from being in the movie with Richard Pryor, Critical Condition. He was in there with that and doing stuff with Rodney Dangerfield and different people like that. But man, and it came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And you know what's ironic? On that podcast, he said, man, I'm not going anywhere for a while. I'm gonna be here for at least another 20 years. And that's the irony, man. And but when you listen, we talked about this with Mrs. Stacey, man, legacy. Everybody who spoke about Bob spoke great of him.
Yeah, more stuff that, like I said, I didn't know about him. And Meatloaf.
Yeah, and so if y'all don't know Meatloaf, if you're into rock and roll, he was a very famous rock and roller. A lot of y'all may know him more for his movies and acting stuff. A lot of people have seen Fight Club. He was in Fight Club, the big guy in Fight Club.
Right.
Bob, and he was Bob in Fight Club. That was Meatloaf.
Right. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And he was in the Rocky Horror Picture Show, but he had over 105 movie credits and TV credits. You know what I'm saying? So he was in his acting bag. And man, so just shouts out to, he was a legendary rocker as well as you know a lot of acting stuff. But man, prayers and shouts out to his family. And
Regina King's son.
Queen.
I just saw that the other day, and I heard he was 26.
Man,
committed suicide,
man. Yeah. And the sad thing is I saw something. She had a reel where she was just at different award shows and on different talk shows.
I saw that.
She was talking about how
how fortunate she was.
Her better, and everything she did was because of him, and she wouldn't be who she was because of him. And so for me,
it's crazy.
If you're a parent out there, no parent wants to bury their child. And so, man, that's just, you know, tragic, man. If you're having those type of thoughts, you know, man, find somebody to talk to. You know what I'm saying? You're not alone. There's people who can talk to you, and be there with you, give you advice, pray with you, listen to you vent. But whatever you're going through, the hopelessness or the helplessness you're feeling, that's not the end of the world. You know, I hate to be cliche, but like in Annie, the sun will come out tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
That's real.
You don't have to give up because you got more to give. And if you're not here, the world is not as complete as without your impact on it. So please do not give up on life like that.
For sure. And to end on this quickie here, y'all, Ozark season 4
is back.
Oh,
it's over with.
It's here. I haven't gotten into it yet. You?
I have not season 4 yet. I've watched season 1, 2, and 3.
I'm trying to watch.
Ozark was one of them shows.
Yeah, I'm trying to watch maybe the last 4 or 5 episodes of 3.
Yeah.
Before I get into 4, just to make sure I go straight into it and be, you know what I'm saying?
No, my cousin, he changed his name on Facebook. Like his name been for like the last 3 or 4 years. His name on Facebook has been Marty Bird.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? So
Marty Bird.
Yeah, so like that's a show.
Dope,
man. I love. If you haven't watched it, you need to watch. Yeah. Throw this in here. Shows you need to watch if you haven't watched. Have you watched your wifey might like this show called Run the World?
Nope.
You need to check that. It's a good one. Okay. It's women centered, but she would like it. It's actually pretty. Like when I started watching it, I got invested in it, and trust me,
Netflix?
I ain't failed you yet. It's on Hulu.
Okay,
but it's a Showtime show. Like
sound like a Beyonce line.
No, it's the girl who played in the House Next Door movies with Mike Epps. She was the daughter in that joint. Brisha Webb.
I gotta see a picture.
Okay, but she's in it. The girl from the lady from the Carmichael show that played as his girlfriend on the Carmichael show. She's in it. They got people who've been like you recognize some of the faces in it.
Okay, Run the
World.
World.
It's a good one.
Okay.
Check that out. Check out Run the World. Abbott Elementary. If you're a teacher or in education, you would love Abbott Elementary. So reminded me of when
Vic,
I
you know
was
about
teaching.
that? Okay.
Yeah, why he laughed, man. And my guy from Everybody Hates Chris is in it. Tyler James Williams.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Man, it's kind of like almost
good.
of a more black version of The Office.
Okay.
I guess because the majority of the cast is black, but like you got to watch Run the World. I mean, not Run the World. You got to watch Abbott Elementary. It's phenomenal.
That's on what?
That is on. It comes on like ABC, I think.
Oh, so it's a regular TV.
But yeah,
okay.
but it's on my Hulu. They did a kind of not a remix of the Wonder Years, where it's like kind of from a black perspective.
I know, yeah,
and Don Cheadle is the narrator on it.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Is that good?
It's good.
Haven't
It's
checked it out
good.
yet.
And
Okay.
it's set in the same time period as the Wonder Years, but it's just kind of like from the
Right.
black perspective.
I got you.
So check that out if you haven't. Y'all know we give y'all good TV shows to check out and watch.
For sure, like you said, you haven't failed me yet, bro. So
Have you ever watched Ray Donovan?
No.
Nigga,
No.
you got to go back and watch that, and because they got the Ray Donovan movie out now,
I got
so
kids,
you got to go back.
man. I got all these
So
kids,
keep them out your room. Y'all
I
parents
do.
need to lock the door, man. Y'all kids need to learn.
I tried, but
we
they
never went in Roche and Teresa room.
They picked the lock.
Even though we knew wasn't nothing going on, we didn't go in there.
They picked the lock. So y'all, until next time, continue with that executive mindset.
And most definitely keep it presidential.
Salute.
Arrivederci. Bow.
About our Father's business, grind mode. Filled with His Holy Spirit, that's a cheat code. Holiness the standard, we never fold. We bout to make a scene, episode. About our Father's business, grind mode. Filled with His Holy Spirit, that's a cheat code. Holiness the standard, we never fold. We bout to make a scene, episode. Lights, camera, action, new season, it's a different chapter. This episode right here is all about what I'm chasing after. Boy, I'm on a mission.